Okay, let's talk about the IT support career ladder. We're going to demystify exactly how you climb from an entry-level IT support role all the way up to a senior engineer. We see these job titles all the time. L1, L2, L3, solutions architect, but the actual path between them, well, it can honestly feel like some sort of well-kept industry secret. So today, we are laying out the exact blueprint to really accelerate your career.
So a lot of people naturally ask, is leveling up in IT just about memorizing complex acronyms and technical jargon? Well, what most people get wrong here is thinking it's just about how many tool names you can casually drop into a sentence. It's really not. It's actually a fundamental shift in how you solve problems. It's about how your mindset evolves from simply reacting to an isolated issue to actively understanding the entire system architecture.
And your progression actually starts with the soft skills you probably already use every single day. I love this quote. What I wish I knew at L1. Most great support people already have the foundation: problem solving, pattern recognition, communication under pressure, calm with customers. Empathy, patience, and clear communication aren't just nice to haves, right? They are literally the bedrock of your technical career. I mean, if you can stay totally calm while a server is down and a user is panicking, you've already got the foundation of a senior engineer.
Here's our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll start with the IT progression myth, then cover mastering the fundamentals at L1, shifting to system understanding at L2, and ownership and mentorship at L3. Then we'll walk through a real progression scenario and wrap up with your 3-step action plan.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the IT progression myth.
So there's this huge myth out there that climbing the ladder requires absolute coding mastery. But the reality is that progression is really about context, structured troubleshooting, and cross-team communication. You don't necessarily need to write raw code from scratch to move up or be some lone hacker in a dark basement. What you do need is the ability to read system logs, understand how different enterprise applications interact, and effectively bridge that frustrating gap between the end users and the back-end engineering teams.
Moving right along to Section 2, L1, Master the Fundamentals.
At L1, your goal isn't to magically fix everything under the sun. It's to master your core toolkit. We're talking logging and categorizing tickets, basic OS and Active Directory navigation, and of course, flawless documentation. You're working heavily from established runbooks here. Your primary performance metric is First Contact Resolution, or FCR, meaning, can you actually resolve this password reset or basic connectivity glitch right there, on the very first call, while maintaining exceptional digital empathy with the user?
And that brings us to the real secret to L1, quality triage. The absolute biggest mistake you want to avoid here is poor documentation. Because honestly, passing up a ticket without context just frustrates everybody. Think about it. If you escalate a ticket that just says printer broken, the L2 tech has to start entirely from scratch. But if you escalate a ticket noting the specific error codes, the IP address, and the exact steps you already tried, boom, you instantly become incredibly valuable to the entire IT operation.
Okay, Section 3, L2, the shift to system understanding.
Notice the clear contrast between the mindsets here. L1 is reactive script following, asking what is broken. L2 is proactive root cause analysis, asking how did it break. L1 follows the map, but L2? L2 has to figure out why the map was wrong in the first place. At this level, the problem isn't always neatly defined for you. You are moving away from the safety net of pre-written scripts and diving headfirst into genuine root cause analysis. You aren't just hiding faults anymore, you're actually testing assumptions to find out why a specific failure happened.
To really thrive at L2, your arsenal has to expand. You need to confidently dig into command line interfaces, handle advanced network diagnostics like DNS and VPNs, and use basic scripting like PowerShell or Python. You're operating safely outside the standard runbooks now. This means learning how to take a painfully boring 2-hour manual process and turning it into a 5-minute automated script. You literally become the bridge between the frontline support and the senior architects.
Let's jump to Section 4, L3, Ownership and Mentorship. Take a quick look at this breakdown. Notice how the scope of impact and the time required to solve problems expand dramatically as you reach L3. At Level 1, you measure success in minutes, 5 to 15 minutes usually. But at Level 3, you are dealing with expert-level resolutions. We're talking system-wide design flaws and complex integrations that can take days or even weeks to fully architect and deploy.
So, what actually gets you promoted to senior? It isn't just knowing the most about servers. The true mark of a senior engineer is ownership and mentorship. It's your ability to own critical P1 outages and effectively mentor the L1 and L2 techs below you. When a massive outage hits, L3 engineers don't panic. They coordinate the response. And absolutely crucial here, once the fire is put out, they write the documentation and feed that knowledge back down the chain so that next time L1 and L2 can handle it without them.
Section 5. A real progression scenario.
Let's paint a picture of how this actually plays out in the real world over a 2-year timeline. Imagine spending your first month really mastering your ticketing system and first contact resolution. Then, fast forward to month 12. A massive DNS failure takes down the sales floor. Instead of just passing the buck and escalating it, you use a PowerShell script you've been practicing to isolate the rogue DHCP server causing the conflict. You document the exact root cause. That initiative right there, that's your turning point. By month 24, because you've proven you can handle high-pressure incidents and you've actively started mentoring the new L1 hires, leadership hands you the L3 promotion to start architecting long-term network resilience.
And finally, Section 6, your 3-step action plan.
If you want to accelerate your climb starting today, follow these 3 steps. 1. Choose hands-on labs over endless theory. 2. Master triage by documenting issues so thoroughly that L2 never, ever has to ask a follow-up question. And 3. Proactively communicate with engineering to understand how systems are built. Theory is great, sure, but employers want to see that you can troubleshoot in the real world. Start treating your daily L1 tickets as practice for L2. Ask yourself right now, how can I make my engineering team's life easier today?
Consider this number for a second. 60%. Over 60% of all IT tickets are resolved at level 1. That proves just how vital a strong foundation is to the entire business. Without an incredibly competent L1 team handling this massive volume, the senior engineers would completely drown in routine requests and the whole company's productivity would just grind to a halt. Seriously, never underestimate the power of the front line.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. To move up the ladder, you have to decide today to stop just fighting fires and reacting to tickets and start taking ownership of the solutions. Cultivate those soft skills, master your triage, learn to read the system logs, and pull your teammates up with you. The path to senior engineer is clear, it's structured, and it's entirely within your reach. Are you ready to take that next step?